Hey there, comic book friends. I'm Travis.
And I'm Ethan.
And this is
Monster Comic Reviews.
That's right, and this is for comics for the first week of July. Will be July 3rd, 2013.
Mm-hmm. Okay, first up we have Batwing, issue 22.
It's my fake yawn for you people who see me yawning all the time. Yeah, I don't know. There's not really anything that interesting about this Batwing, is there?
There's nothing interesting.
I like the new suit. The new suit's cool. Of course, we don't see it in this issue.
Nope.
We're back in Gotham, doing stuff in Gotham. It has to do with Batman. It has to do with Wayne Tech. It has to do with all that stuff. It doesn't feel like it has to do with Africa, right?
Yeah.
Well,
that's one of the things that I like about this book. Before, I mean, I miss David. He was pretty great. I mean, that's what I liked about this book, was the fact that it was oriented in Africa. They had they had problems that are actually problems in Africa. I mean, there's always problems in Gotham, please. I mean, really, we all know Gotham is not a nice place.
But they're psycho problems too.
Yes,
you know, they're not
true
worldly problems.
Mm-hmm.
So, are you interested in Fox being a?
I'm invested in none of these characters.
You're not interested in the idea of him being an international superhero? Because I mean, that's supposedly going to be the plan. Is he's going to be an international hero? He came home to visit Gotham, and of course, this other stuff is happening. Conveniently coincides, and the same people that he just dealt with, coincide with him being back in Gotham. Them going after Lucius Fox. You're not interested in him being an international superhero, where, next week we might find him in Japan, the week after that we might find him in Russia, the week after that we might find him in wherever.
It sounds interesting, but...
What are we going to get there?
And, the way it's written, I don't think it will be. I mean, the idea of it, the concept is cool.
Mm-hmm.
That interests me, it does, but so is the concept of the Teen Titans. So,
Ouch. Okay. I don't think it's as bad as the Teen Titans.
No. Oh, no, it's not as bad as the Teen Titans. But I'm not invested in the character at all.
At all.
The main character annoys me, actually, a lot of the time. Some of the stuff he says, he's just so whiny. He's just like, Batman, I'm gonna do what I want. I'm like, go be Nightwing or something. I mean, really now.
But you hit a good point, in my opinion. What's the difference between him and Nightwing, other than their names? And one's Dick Grayson. And this guy. I mean, is there really much? They're both really chatty when they fight. They're both smart Alex, when they're fighting stuff. They're both kind of smart Alex to Batman, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're both kind of acrobatic. I mean, he's supposed to be more MMA oriented, but I don't know. It still feels like he spends more time kind of flipping around.
Yeah.
I'm
going to recall the fact here that we dropped Nightwing.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
So we might be on the verge of doing that here. I'm gonna give it a few more issues because I like the idea of what might be coming up.
Yeah.
We better get to that. I really didn't need this book to tie into back into Gotham or that sort of stuff. But sales were lagging horrifically. That's why there was that's why there was a creator change of the thing, and that's why there was also a character creator of the thing. I think they were. I think that there was some discussion around Batwing at the office being bad news and it going downhill, and Justin Gray and Jimmy Pavlani said, hey, we'll do the book. This is our idea. This is what we'll do. And I think they want to tie it back into Batman and Gotham more. Maybe not Gotham more, but the Batman part more.
Yeah.
Because he's part of Batman Inc., even though it's not Batman Inc. So we'll see. Part of me, I'm like you. I like the whole African bent of the thing, and David being Batwing. And if it's tied into Batman too much, then
you don't get that.
I don't want it.
Yep.
I don't want it. I've gotten a Batman title.
So I give it a 2.
I give it a week 3. I think it was a bad book, but it's not where I want it to be. It's not telling the stories I want. Next up, we're going to talk about Batman Detective Comics, issue 22.
Okay, didn't realize that, honestly, I even almost called, him what's-her-face. I don't remember what his name is. The guy that gets crushed at the end.
Scorn?
Scorn. I did not realize the way that Scorn looks, the way they drew him, I did not realize that he was a he until the very end when he crushes the face piece off. I mean, just because the features of the costume are rounder and with, the way that they have the hood. Yeah. He just did. And then, obviously, he's not, but they look cool. They look really cool, I think. You know, the whole...
Wrath, the person who seems to be in charge of this Scorn person that was out, and they're killing cops. I mean, that's active what they're doing.
Yep.
They're killing cops. They're out going after people who they feel like have done some injustice to them. These policemen. I guess Wrath is a character who's actually been around in the past. It's a Batman villain that I'm not familiar with. It came up on Bat Chat yesterday, and of course, because my connection was so bad with the internet, I couldn't really ask about it to really know what was going on. But this could be interesting. Very violent, obviously, character.
Yeah.
And potentially getting pinned on.
Yeah. On what, Cladwell?
Well, yeah. Well, Cladwell. Yeah. There's this other guy that's shown up who's a rich guy. Returned to the city after being gone for a long period of time. He basically has kind of the same story.
Yeah, exactly. As
Bruce does.
Batman.
Right.
Yeah.
Except he's, of course, spending money where Bruce Wayne chooses never to spend money in military.
In military weapons. And that's what makes the difference. That's the difference between Wrath and Batman.
I guess. It's kind of an interesting story.
Yeah, no, actually, I like that type of villain.
Yeah.
You know, the villain that's just absolutely ruthless. You failed me.
Right.
I mean, that was... Yeah, I mean, if they're written well, I mean...
Right.
So...
Right. Of course, I love the artwork in it. Jason Fabok is, I think, a fabulous comic book artist. I mean, it's pure superhero comic book art, and it's great. I love the backup story, the Man Bat with Langstrom.
Yeah. Oh crap.
Yeah.
That would. I don't know what would suck worse: to learn that you're slowly going out of control and murdering people, or to learn that your wife is slowly going out of control and murdering people.
No, is she out of control? She can't be. She must not be out of control because she fabricated an alibi for everything. So to me, it's not like she's losing it. It's not like, it's not this sudden realization, oh my God, my wife has been sipping the serum too, and she's lost it. It's, she's sipping the serum, and she's got enough wherewithal after she's killed these people, we assume. She's fabricated alibis.
Yep.
She faked going to the opera. She faked, being here. She faked all this stuff. That would be even more frightening to find out that you're married to, a
psycho.
A killer, yeah. And I love the art in that. I want to mention the art. Andy Clark should be doing a full book, not just a backup story.
I love that last panel where it's her, smiling and holding up the serum of stuff. That is that's great imagery there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I just love Andy Clark. I love his work. I love the line work that he does. He's somebody who uses hash marking and stuff like that to give texture and contour to things, giving them depth, as opposed to just relying on a colorist to lay down multiple shades of a color to try and give it shape and whatnot. And so I just kind of keep mentioning that. I don't think the guy's name is thrown out there enough as a current artist that should be doing more work and whatnot. So there we go. Yeah, I enjoy it. I'm enjoying Detective Comics. I still think it's a really enjoyable, fun book. What would you rate this?
I give it a strong 3.
I give it a strong 3 also. Awesome. What's next?
Next up, we have Del H14.
Del H number 14. This is, next issue is the last issue. Next issue is a double-sized issue, final issue of Dial H, and I think you can tell that the writer, China Manoa, is just throwing it all out there.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay, that is a really awesome idea. I love, they have all the different dials, like the jump dial, the fact that you can, the apocalypse dial. That's awesome, where you dial random apocalypses.
Yeah.
That sucks. That is nothing I would ever want to be on the receiving end of. But that is such an awesome concept.
Right.
Just boop boop boop, zombie apocalypse, boop boop boop, nuclear disaster, boop boop boop, comet.
Yeah,
I mean,
the bad guy is sporting. One of the bad guys is sporting
the ultimate
dial of apocalypse, and they actually they're in a dimension, and they actually get swarmed by zombies, and nobody, except for Roxy and Nelson, have a clue what the hell a zombie is.
Because that's the best part, is the fact that
that's the apocalypse that got dialed up, so it wasn't that bad. They dealt with it. They're in this place where there's like chair and crossbow people and Trebuchet. I guess the main hero's name is Trebuchet.
Yeah. That's pretty bitchin'.
But all these different dials. Like I said, it feels a little crazy and a little fast paced.
Yeah.
For one, I like that. I mean, the fact is we are reaching the pinnacle of the insanity of this whole thing. But I also feel like part of it's that way because
it's ending. Yeah, that's probably true. It's just fine being written out the way that it is. Just very, right? but I also would have loved to have read it just slowly leaking this stuff out.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad that it finally feels like they're actively doing something. You know, because before it was just like.
Yeah, it hit a slow point.
I'm gonna be so sad about this book when it goes because, just I don't know, the ideas they have in it, like the heroes, Centipede's freaking awesome.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna miss the stuff like that because that's just cool.
Yeah, there are a lot of really neat, smart, I think, things in this book. Obviously, didn't have a big enough audience. It has us core readers who are reading it.
It's the sleeper hit, but yeah.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that I think it's one of those things that people will talk about. Later on. I think it'll sell decently in trades if people give it a chance and pick it up and start to read it. I think that it really, I think it did struggle initially. The series did struggle.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really hit a stride. Now it's just crazy. The covers are always awesome.
Always, yep.
The Bullen covers are just incredible. So it'll be missed too. And when this book goes, well, we'll talk more about that next month when we get to the final book about exactly what that means. It all passing and stuff on. But I would give it a 4. I really enjoyed it.
Yep, I give it a 4.
That was crazy fun.
Yep.
Okay, next up we're going to talk about Earth 2 issue number 14. War.
Okay, well, I'm not the biggest fan of Green Lantern. Really, I'm not the biggest fan of Flash either. Okay, Dr. Fate, though, he's freaking awesome.
You don't like this version of...
Oh, no, I like both these characters.
Oh, okay.
They're just in general, they're not really my favorites
right,
ever.
You don't seek those
I like them,
out.
but they happen to be in something that's cool. But honestly, being charged by Dr. Fate, Green Lantern, and the Flash, that is just such a bad day. I mean,
why would you even attempt to throw a punch?
Yeah, what?
I'm done.
I mean, it's no longer, in that war, it's no longer how many kills can you make, it's how many cuss words can you throw out there before Flash punches you out.
Right.
I mean, so that's just a bad day. Even with Super Tech.
Right.
Which looks cool. I always love the way the new godly tech looks. I mean, it's just cool.
Mm-hmm.
It still annoys me that Steppenwolf is just this big hulking guy. That drives me crazy. I don't like it.
Well, yeah. Hopefully, we'll get more of what he's about then, because he's really not in this hardly, other than to basically spew out this. He's obviously got these critters that he has locked up that he's unleashing onto.
Yeah, they're pretty awesome.
Which strikes me as that's his real plan. Because it seems pretty obvious, I mean, they make it pretty clear in the book that it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for him to take this little country and then suddenly throw out, I'm here. I mean, he is the most wanted man on the planet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, everybody
on the planet
wants him dead.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So him, picking a little country and then, throwing up that he's here. Obviously,
it's a super powered little country.
But still.
But yeah.
He obviously has some other plan, and part of it is unleashing these things we see, these people we see at the very end of it, these obviously powered individuals at the end.
And he still has Fury.
Right. And of course we get more of the World Army, that group of people, the Sandmen,
they still interest me.
Adam Alprat, and we get more of I'm drawing a blank on his name, the Persian military guy that's in charge of, or someone in charge of the World Army. Mm-hmm. Suddenly, the smartest man in the world, he suddenly disappeared again. They introduced him back and kind of kicked the Persian man off to the side and said, "Oh, you're not in charge anymore." I guess I shouldn't call him Persian. I think he's Indian. I think his little tag has the flag of India on it. I think. Sorry about that. Not getting the nationality exactly right. I understand that he suddenly disappeared again. We're not getting any of him. I mean, I don't know if that's just a story that kind of got dropped. We've got 2 issues, I believe. And the writer who's on it's going to be gone. Mm-hmm. So it'll be really interesting to see how far this story makes it before the sudden transition into whoever else is doing it. I'm excited to see this war.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want my entire comic book just to be full of superhero fighting.
Yeah,
but it is fun to see.
Cool.
It is fun to see. So I want to see some serious smashing and bashing and crashing up.
It was like that Justice League Justice Society crossover. I mean, not the most heavily plot thickened thing, but it was cool watching the superheroes beat the crap out of each other.
Actually,
that was cool.
Slam,
so not that that's all I want in a comic book. It's sometimes a big knockout.
I enjoyed it. I think it's interesting. I think the World Army is interesting. I think it's kind of interesting how the World Army, their powers people, all wear that kind of, I don't know, it almost looks like a motocross mask or whatever, that kind of armored face mask and stuff. So they do have a uniformity to them, despite them being different from each other. Yeah. It's kind of interesting. So what do you think of it? I've been enjoying it.
I liked it, yeah. It was
I give it a strong 3.
Yes, I give it a strong 3 too.
Okay. Okay, we're talking next.
Okay, next up we have Green Arrow issue 22 with a really awesome cover.
Yes. Oh, the art in the thing is
yeah.
awesome through and through. Very excited about the book. Really enjoying it. My only issue with this one is Count Vertigo. He gets introduced in this. I like his headgear that gives him that elves obviously their amplifies or gives him his power. We haven't completely shown that.
Yeah.
Perfectly fine with that. I like the this is me being old school, I guess. I like the old Count Vertigo costume. It was very regal. He had kind of a cloak cape kind of a thing. And he seemed like of royalty in that sense. But he felt like, I'm just saying, he felt like that sense. Well, and this character's got this weird orange circle painted on him. Just, and screwed up MC Hammer pants. Well, maybe they're not that bad. But they just look really strange, okay? They look really strange. And so that bugs me. And I'm going to bring this up again. I think I brought this up in Comic Book Roundtable, but I'm gonna show this picture again too, because it's just epic. Here it is. There's the costume, and I just don't, like I said, I don't get it. I wish I had a picture of the regular Vertigo book, because I would prefer to show you that because I like it better. But when he blasts Green Arrow's head and Green Arrow's,
that is such an awesome picture. Oh man.
So he nails Green Arrow. Right. I mean, his head isn't actually exploding. But this is obviously to give us the impression of what it would actually feel like as he is completely thrown into chaos and his equilibrium is blown and all that kind of stuff. But that is some freaking awesome art right there.
It really looks like that's such a bad day. That is such not a good time. I mean,
yeah. So very, very cool as far as that goes. I'm still interested. I like this work with the team, with the people talking in his ear. Obviously, they like using satellites or something like that to kind of keep track of who's around him and stuff. Makes perfect sense. If you're a non-superpowered person, you want all these tools around you. Yeah. Batman kind of has that with Alfred. And I hate to make the comparison between the two, but they are non-powered people living in a powered world where they're using their gadgets to try and save. Some awesome arrows in this. Kind of fun and talking about the different arrows and trying to do the one-upmanship with the...
We all know, though, that Batman's just Green Arrow and it stays off.
That is. Yeah. That's what it is. Yep.
The arrow playing back when I thought I was Batman. But, no, I liked it. It was good. I do like Count Vertigo's original costume more, also. But on the other hand, in the Pre-52, he is actually a ruler of a small country. I don't think he is in this one. He just happens to have some sort of family.
He's laying claim to his family
castle, not to the entire country. Right. So, to some degree, I like the old costume better, but I can understand why it's not this one.
Well, and it makes sense. It makes sense for this costume. It makes sense for this book because this book is much more contemporary. Yes. And obviously, if he came out in that costume, he would really look like a throwback. He would look strange in comparison to how everything else is. Yep. So he fits in this kind of gritty, tough. The guy is supposedly, the history they've got on him is that he's kind of a ruthless dude anyway. So this matches up.
So in a few years when all he has facial hair, maybe he'll.
I guess this falls under the category of he's not my. Yeah, he's not my Count Vertigo, but I like him. As I keep saying about Green Arrow, this isn't my Green Arrow, but I like this book and I like this Green Arrow kind of thing. Yep. Yeah. What will we rate this book?
I think I'd give it a strong 4.
I'd give it a 4.
Really close to a 5, but just not quite. I mean, the art just makes it really good.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's a cool book. People should pick it up. Without doubt.
Yep.
Yeah. And lastly, for this half, we're going to talk about Legends of the Dark Knight, issue 10.
Cannibals, yay!
I'm hungry.
Yeah. No, it was cool. That would suck so bad.
What's that?
Okay. Well, first of all,
getting eaten.
All of that.
Suck. You're right.
Getting eaten. That would suck. Eating people and then absorbing their thoughts. Okay. Not so suckish until you think about that it affects him also if he eats animals.
Right.
Suck.
Well, he makes the comment about that eating cows.
So bad.
Last steak I ate made me feel so slow. Yeah.
On the other hand, that'd be really cool because if you're somebody who's super rich, you could order a Jaguar or something. And the next thing you know, you're prancing around like a badass. But then somebody slips you some chicken, the next thing you know, you're running into walls. Yeah. Hey, at least you can move for like the next 3 seconds when your head's gone. That's probably not the biggest advantage ever, but it's better than nothing. No, that would suck. You know, actually all of that guy's entire condition just sucks so bad.
Right.
Not something that I'd ever want. I like this book, Legend of the Dark Knight, because it's usually, you know, not Batman questioning his morals, but his morals still being questioned. I don't know.
Right.
If that makes sense.
They're telling a story that's outside of continuity, so they can have Batman drifting into places where they wouldn't want the franchise character to be.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And I like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like that's still a side of Batman. They just can't tell it because it doesn't sell as well.
Right.
But on the other hand, I do like the classic Batman story deals with, you know, a villain. So, I like this. I mean, nothing was really special about it to me, but it was good.
Right.
I still enjoyed it.
It was a decent book. Not very many more of these left. They've chosen to, I think they're going to continue to run it digitally.
Oh, darn.
And then they will collect it in some larger format. And I don't know what that'll be like. How it's going to be presented. That'll choose on whether or not I get it. I'll get it as long as they keep putting it out in the singles.
Cool.
This one was a little different because the entire book was one story. Normally we get 2 or 3 stories out of smaller versions.
Wasn't so crazy about that, but it was still good. So I mean, it wasn't bad, so I can't really complain.
Yeah, I'd give this a 3.
I give it a solid 3. Yep.
Okay, well that's it for this half. We'll be back in a few minutes because hopefully when I'm downloading this, I have my new internet. And it'll actually show up in a few minutes. At any rate, we'll be back in a little bit with the second half. Bye.